You guys all know me as a professional Nuzlocker. Well, not professional, but you get what I mean. Over this past year, I've completed many Nuzlocks here on my channel, so you can say I know quite a bit about Pokemon. Over my many Nuzlocks, I've used almost every Pokemon that Nintendo has to offer. From the strongest to the weakest, from the bad to the best, I've probably used them all at some point. Today, I'm gonna highlight some Pokemon that are my favorite to Nuzlocke with. Now, before we start, I really only Nuzlocke Gens 4 and 5, so what I say can really only apply to Generations 4 and 5. This list by no means is a definitive list of Pokemon that you should be using in your Nuzlocks. It's just a personal list of Pokemon that I've enjoyed or liked using in my Nuzlocks. Although you will notice that a lot of them are just good for Nuzlocks, because what I enjoy most about Nuzlocking is winning. This list really doesn't have an order, no Pokemon's better than the other. They're just going in the order that I can think of them. If you want to see me use these Pokemon in action, then you should check out my Nuzlocks over on my channel. There, you can see exactly how I use them in battle and what I like so much about them. And like and subscribe while you're there. Thanks. I usually never do intros, I just start the video. What's up, YouTube? Oh god, how do people not cringe when they do that? I already want to unalive. In no particular order, we're going to start with Starmie. The reason I like using Starmie a lot is because its uses are very diverse, so you can use it in like many ways. What makes Starmie like so good is its stats. It's really fast and it has very good special attack. So if you need like a fast sweeper, you can run like Stab Surf, Psychic. It also has like an incredible move pool. You can get like Dazzling Gleam, Grass Knot, Flash Cannon, Power Gem, Ice Beam, Thunderbolt. It's so versatile. Starmie is also not that frail. It can take hits. 85 in both defenses. Sometimes you might want to run like a bulkier Starmie, so you can run like Recover, Substitute, Screens, Cosmic Power. Recently, I've been trying to get off some more gimmicky strategies like Skill Swap, Ally Switch, Trick Room, and practicing with like a bulkier Starmie that doesn't just die on you is pretty nice. It's pretty nice. I guess like because I do Nuzlocke ROM hacks, I should talk about ROM hacks. Starmie only gets better in ROM hacks. Oftentimes in ROM hacks, you'll find that it gets like either Regenerator or Analytic as an ability. Both are great. Regenerator heals a third of your HP on switch out, so it only makes Starmie bulkier, which is always good. Analytic admittedly is not that useful because Starmie's quite fast. It only boosts your damage by 30% if you move after the opponent. But if you get really good at Nuzlocks, like I am, you can deliberately run like a slower Starmie, or use it in conjunction with like Speed Swap or like Trick Room to make yourself slower to take advantage of Analytic. And if you manage to pull that off, then you can start dealing massive amounts of damage. Next Pokemon, Crobat. Crobat, it's kind of similar to Starmie in stats. It's fast, it's decently bulky, and it has decent attack. It doesn't nearly have the same coverage as Starmie does. Crobat really only has one job in the Nuzlocks, but it does that job really well. Crobat's job is a fast, bulky pivot. That's its job, and it does it incredibly. It's good for switching in, baiting a move, U-turning out. It only has a few weaknesses that can be quite easily covered. Electric by ground, Psychic by dark, and then Rock and Ice are pretty easily covered. Pretty good for defending, because like Poison Flying, it's pretty defensive typing, so it actually resists quite a bit. You know, Bug, Ground, Fighting, Grass, all really common types to encounter in Nuzlocks, which makes Crobat like pretty much usable in all situations. Next Pokemon, let's think. We'll say Drapeon. I use Drapeon quite often, and I really like to use it. It's my go-to non-steel defensive Pokemon. It's got incredible stats and battle armor. Battle armor means that it performs extremely consistently as a defense, and it's got a great move pool for coverage. It can come in, tank, and hit back. You know, it's got Earthquake, X-Scissor, Swords Dance, Brick Break, Elemental Fangs, and it's also got some good utility moves that are like good for like trick plays, Knock Off, Toxic Spikes, Sucker Punch, Taunt. All pretty useful moves. Oh, something else that makes Drapeon so good is its typing. Poison Dark means that it only has one weakness in ground, which is easily covered by any flying type. You can find flying types in almost every game. Not almost every game. You can find flying types in every game. So every flying type works well with Drapeon. Especially since I Nuzlocke Gen 4 and 5 games, Drapeon's typing goes insane in the Gen 5 Elite Four. It counters so much, and there's nothing they can do about it. I'm pretty sure against Caitlyn, if you taunt that starting Musharna, you can sweep Caitlyn. In fact, I'd say it's probably better than other dark types in the game, like better than Bisharp, better than Scrafty, because it has it has no weaknesses. What else is fun for me to use? I guess Gyarados. Yeah, Gyarados is pretty fun. Gyarados is probably on this list for a different reason than the other Pokemon. So other Pokemon are fun that happen to be good for Nuzlocke. In Gyarados' case, it's probably the opposite, because like for other Pokemon, I can come up with some like clever or unorthodox strategies that makes it like really fun to use in battle. Gyarados is the opposite. It's a good Nuzlocke Pokemon that happens to be really fun to use. Gyarados is very straightforward. It's got Intimidate, great stats, Dragon Dance. The idea with Gyarados is very simple, and sometimes a sweep is all I need to enjoy the game. And you know what? Gyarados fits that job perfectly. It's consistent, it's easy to use, very fun to play with. I don't think any more needs to be said. I'd say Zoroark is pretty fun to use. It's probably the most extreme example of like clever strategies. What makes Zoroark so like unorthodox is his ability Illusion. Illusion is a broken ability that makes Zoroark appear as the last Pokemon in your party. It doesn't really sound like much because Zoroark's stats, like typing, it doesn't actually change, but it allows for so many like trick plays. If you copy like a poison or fighting type to bait psychic moves, Zoroark is immune to it, but the AI won't realize, and you can basically just cheese the fight. Zoroark also learns like a bunch of like utility, like Taunt, Nasty Plot, U-Turn, that allows for like creative gameplay. It's also got a pretty like good coverage spread, like Flamethrower, X-Scissor, Brick Break, Focus Blast, you know, set up nasty plots. Specifically Gen 5, it goes ham. It counters Chantal and Caitlyn if you can bait the psychic moves. Probably like the pinnacle of cheesy plays in my books. I don't know why I'm gonna put Kingdra on this list. On paper, it's not that great. Its defenses are okay. It's not that fast, and its offenses aren't great, but I just consistently get Kingdra in all my Nuzlocke that I just end up using it all the time. What makes Kingdra so good is the Swift Swim ability. So Swift Swim doubles your speed in the rain, which kind of makes up for Kingdra's mediocre speed. If you guys don't know, rain is probably the most broken and easiest way, consistent too, to make a broken team. I use rain strats in almost all my Nuzlocke. Kingdra consistently fills the role of a fast rain sweep, where it just sweeps everything consistently. You know, just slap on a Life Orb or like a Choice Specs, and Stab Surfs in the rain will basically sweep anything in your way. I think the last Pokemon I have to say for this list is Glyscor. If you watch my Nuzlocke, then you'll know Glyscor is on every one of my teams. Glyscor goes insane, especially with Poison Heal. It's more so to the fact that Poison Heal is a broken ability, but even without Poison Heal, it's still a great Pokemon. Incredible stats, defensive typing, and a ridiculous move pool. It's an easy answer to so many Pokemon in Nuzlocke. Poison Heal leftovers with Protect, Substitute, stalls anything. It stalls anything. It's got a lot of coverage. Rock Slide, Brick Break, X-Scissor, Night Slash, Poison Jab, Steel Wing. It gets access to like Swords Dance, Stealth Rock, Sandstorm. There are just so many ways to run Glyscor that they're all viable. Yeah, I think those 8, it's a pretty representative list of Pokemon that I would say I have fun with. Some honorable mentions, yeah. I think Salamence is up there. It's very similar to Gyarados. Another consistent Dragon Dance sweeper, Intimidate, great stats, massive attack. Another one would be Lantern. It's super consistent on the defensive side. It gets Volt Absorb and Volt Switch, making it another like bulky pivot Pokemon that completely neutralizes other electric types. Crocodile, I'd say Crocodile's up there. Great Intimidate Pokemon, great typing, 2 immunities. You can Moxie Sweep on this. The one small issue with Crook, it's a bit too slow since Moxie Sweep doesn't increase your speed the same way Swift Swim or Dragon Dance sweeping does. Other than that, incredibly fun Pokemon to use. Magnazone, I'd say Magnazone's up there. It's a premier defensive pivot, with access to like Volt Switch. You know, this is like the defensive pivot. It's even better when paired up with like Analytic for slow Volt Switch, which it allows you to chip your opponent and get in a free switch. It gives you so much momentum in a Nuzlocke. You can even run it as like a Eviolite Magneton if you want more defense, One weakness, being ground, makes it pair up well with any other flying type Pokemon. Scizor, I would say Scizor is up there. I haven't used Scizor much. It's very fun to use. It fills a very similar niche to Magnazone, but runs U-turn instead of Volt Switch, and also gets Technician. It also gets like good coverage moves like Stealth Rocks, X-Scissor, Brick Break, Night Slash, Wing Attack. Really good Pokemon, really fun to use. Togekiss. Yes, Togekiss is up there. Togekiss is the prime example of a cheesy Pokemon. Best setup and utility moves like Encore, Nasty Plot, Screens, Baton Pass, Substitute. Such a fun Pokemon to use for setup strategies. Can't really think of another one. I guess Politoed, but really any Drizzle Pokemon. Rain Setter works, right? Rain is consistent for building OP teams, so any Rain Pokemon is just fun to use. I use Rain all the time in my Nuzlocke, so getting access to a Rain Pokemon is always like, yes. I guess that's it for honorable mentions. This is just a list of Pokemon that I find fun to use, not Pokemon you should be using in your Nuzlocke. If there are Pokemon that you think are very fun to use, if there's any like strategies that you think I should employ, if there's Pokemon you think I should use in my Nuzlocks, let me know. How do we end this? That's it for today. I'll see you next. I want to kill myself. For the one viewer who keeps commenting about my bed, this is, yeah, it's a Alaska, no, I think it's a Wyoming king. It's not for one person, okay? Not even two, it's for like 3 people. It's for me and like 2 other girls. People.